Good evening, and this is Lunaris Aileron, and today is 7th of October, Saturday, and I think I'm gonna talk about, how should I call this? Like, sometimes, do you got, it's been quite some time since I ever marathon an anime, usually because I really don't have the time and energy, and I prefer to watch anime week by week. And I know lots of people don't do this. They rather wait for a series has over, or at least has some. They store a few episodes, maybe like 4, 5, or 6 episodes, and watch all of them in one go. But personally, I really don't like binging an anime or doing marathon. I mean, I used to when I was younger. I'm 26 years old. And back when I was younger, early 2000, mid 2000, 2005, 2006, and near 2010 when I'm still at school and I'm still studying, I can afford marathoning anime. I used to marathon a bunch of stuff, and but now I'm in my work days. I really just don't have energy or time to watch anime many 5 or 6 episode anime in one go. Even if I watch like a bunch of different anime, I can usually just at most watch 3 episodes in a row because I don't know. It's just to me, it's I don't have the stamina anymore. I think maybe partly because over the years I have become more critical of anime. I've begun looking looking at anime more critically. I observe various other elements that casual watchers that watch just for fun and without thinking too much, especially various elements like dialogues, story flows, and many other cinematography. And back then, I just watched it straightly for fun, and I was casual. My mindset was rather casual that I don't consider all of this, and I don't really care about all of this back then. So I use less of my brain power to watch anime, so I don't get tired easily. But nowadays, I'm much more critical of anime because that's what you get when you watch more than a decade. You have much more than a decade worth of experience in anime watching. You became more critical and you notice things that small things that casual watchers won't notice or won't appreciate. I think that's also explain why my taste is very peculiar and not mainstream. And my point is that I don't really I don't really marathon anime except in few exceptions like I think earlier this year and last year I marathon Love Life again. Both Love Life and Love Life Sunshine. There you go. Sunshine. I think it's because I think the anime is just really good that I had lots of fun rewatching it. I think I watched it I have rewatched the whole series like 3 times. Even the movies I watched at least twice. Love Life movie, and I think that's a testament of how good it is to me at least that I enjoy marathoning it. Unlike unlike most other anime that I try to rewatch in succession in a few episodes in a row. And talking about whether weekly or binging, binging, binging anime, like I think it also depends on what type of anime. Like I, I actually I actually watch Aikatsu Stars right now. But some formulaic anime really shouldn't watch. You really shouldn't watch marathon it because like Aikatsu Star has a very predictable formula. There's a basic story, there's a basic conflict, and then there's some resolution to the conflict, and then everything's okay. Some one of them gonna start singing in a live scene, and then bam, okay. The same with some titles like Pretty Cure. I earlier this year I watched Pretty Cure, but I just kinda drop it like 20 episodes in. Like I just don't have time. Even though I kinda enjoy the silliness of it, even though it has a very mediocre art. Not as bad as not as bad as the previous Pretty Cure though. The what do you call that? Mahosukai Precure. But I definitely won't try to catch up by marathoning the episodes that I miss because just like Aikatsu Stars, it has a very it's a very formulaic show and it's a weekly show. It is designed for kids to watch to tune in every week to watch TV, to watch the show every week and then just wait for the next week. It's the same with the other example like it's like Prepara uh Prepara is that's is the title, right? And another idol show. It is very formulaic, but uh in these cases it's more enjoyable to watch it weekly. But since most of anime that I watch is seasonal anime that usually has only 12 to 24, 26 episodes. And how about this anime? It also depends. Like I think that these animes, the 12 episodes anime or 24 episode anime, are designed to be watched weekly because I mean are designed to watch weekly. But these anime are also if this anime is good, the studio will make that if either way it will be an entertaining experience like watching it weekly watching this anime weekly is a proper way and you should be able to enjoy it but at the same time if you decided to marathon it it will be just as good it wouldn't have what do you call the the entertaining factor shouldn't be uh too cheapened. I don't know. I'm not sure how to describe it. Like, mm, I don't really come in this video in this recording with any notes. I really should start to script this thing, but I don't really care. But uh, how should I say this? Like some earlier this year has this anime Little Witch Academia. I think the first half is quite boring. Watching it weekly is boring because it's not good enough. It's not as good as the second half of the anime. It has like Little Witch Academia. The series has 20 around 24 episodes I think, and the first half is actually pretty boring I think. And I almost dropped it a few times in around episode 4, 5, 6, 7 around around that moment because it's not entertaining. It just it failed to capture the whimsical silliness silly fun that the first movie had. Yes, I said the first movie because I think the second movie is pretty it has a good idea but second movie is has a worse execution. In this case, I think it's better to marathon it because you get to the meat of the anime much faster. But in most cases, I think watching it weekly in most cases I think animes are designed to be watched weekly. Like usually each episode has in especially in a more dramatic story, it has twists. It has what do you call that? Plot hang. You know when something's happen at the end and then to be continued. And I remember like earlier this year, there's a anime called Suka Suka. It's a good anime, even though the art is pretty meh. But I think it's one of my favorite this year. And but I watch it weekly because it's really good. I really enjoyed it. And I enjoy the story. I enjoy the character. I enjoy the sense of despair and the sense of yeah, despair. I'm just gonna go with that. The sense of despair is creep on you slowly, how the characters slowly deteriorate is very heartbreaking, and every time it ends, I end up with, oh no, what's gonna happen next? I hope she's okay. I don't want her to get hurt later. In this case, being watching it weekly really improve kinda improve the entertainment by making my investment stronger, because the show is good enough to capture me, and then I got invested in it, and I really want to know more, and the wait for 1 week is very painful, and when I watch it, it became very emotional, especially in the last few episodes. It became a very powerful moment. I really love it. The How the story come up to that moment, having to watch it, having to wait 1 week, really magnify my emotions, my feelings when I watch it, when I watch the how the story unfolds. But I think if I watch it, I think if I watch it, I binge it, I marathon it, I will still find the story very powerful, but it wouldn't have this there's this 1 week feeling of waiting, this longing feeling. Yeah. So how should I say this? What are the example I can use? What are the anime I can use to for this? I really should script this properly, but I think I gave my point properly. I delivered some of my points that basically my principle is most anime are designed to be watched quickly, and the director how the director designed the anime flow is to be watched weekly. But at the same time, I say and the anime should be watched weekly. But at the same time, when if you marathon it, the entertainment value shouldn't be lessened as too much. Like as in, if you marathon it, it should be still good. Oh yeah, I have another example. Uh, I think this year has anime called Sakura Quest. It's an anime like in the same vein as this is another anime a few years ago. I forgot. It's about anime. A bunch of people making anime about animators. Uh, what is the title? I forgot. But I didn't watch it weekly because at the time I dropped it earlier. As in I didn't follow it. When I try to rewatch it, I find it hard because I think the anime is designed to be watched weekly. If you watch it, if you try to marathon it, wouldn't be as good. I think it is an anime where there is a plot, but there is no like big twist, big plot or big conflict. Like even for a realistic in a story in a realistic world setting, there is no like you participate in a competition, you have this rival or not. It's not like that, but in this like Sakura Quest is a story about gradual development of a characters, and the story progressing slowly. Like if you watch it like 5 episodes straight, you feel like it doesn't really go anywhere except some characters get some development. And I think in my experience, when I watch Sakura Quest, I look forward more like, oh, what's gonna happen this week? Is this week which of this character gonna get some spotlight, some development? But the story is nothing really dramatic, and I think if I like discover Sakura Quest much later and I try to catch up to it, I will get a little bored. But this is not really what I'm not really 100% sure, but basically what I'm saying that in some anime you should really watch it weekly. Some anime uh, is good. When you marathon it, the value is not lost. The entertainment value is not lost. But some anime has also the reverse effect, that is when you marathon it, it became worse. So in my just as a conclusion, I think that's that you should try to watch anime weekly, but really don't force yourself. But for me personally, I will just try to watch anime weekly. Anyway, this I don't think this video is very good because I've been busy today and I'm trying to get bunch of things done, and I really didn't start recording this with proper idea. Yeah, this is this is very spontaneous video. Anyways, if you are still listening to this, thank you, and feel free to drop by in my Discord or say hi to my DeviantArt. I also have Pixiv, and comment anything if you like. Anyway, bye.